The throat plate on the machine, you will notice, is in millimeters. So if you have a pattern that has a 1/2 inch seam allowance or 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, what you're going to need to do is measure from the center needle position on out. So you can kind of see that 15 millimeters is about 5/8 of an inch seam allowance because the rest of the world is metric and the United States is in inches. Well, if that bothers you, you can purchase from your local Husqvarna Viking dealer an American printed throat plate. So it'll have the inches on here on both sides. That would be possibly easier for you to read. Tell you the truth, I've learned metric because I have a metric throat plate on the machines that come with it. You also can purchase a straight stitch throat plate, which would have both inches and millimeters on it. Now, a straight stitch throat plate is for, of course, only straight stitching. You can use it with the embroidery, but what's nice is if you're ever sewing like something from corner to corner, have you ever had where that little first corner of your fabric gets pushed down into the throat plate because the needle pushes it down? This eliminates that. It also helps for free motion quilting. So when you have just a more exact stitching, when your foot is kind of in that hover mode. I've actually had one customer describe it like she was quilting on an air hockey table because there wasn't that little extra opening that the fabric was dimpling into. It was just gliding across it, and only the needle and the thread were getting pushed down through to the bobbin area. So that's another option to do. But when you're actually stitching, so let's say we are working with a 5/8 inch seam allowance, we can go ahead and line up our fabric with that 15 millimeter mark. And away we go. Now, what if you needed a marking that was further beyond the markings of the throat plate? And that's where your seam guide comes in handy. That came with your machine. You can loosen the screw in the back and slide it back here. Now, you're going to have to loosen that screw quite a bit to have it open enough for that screw, the guide to go in, because it's a big, long hole. So you need to unscrew it so it can go in, and then use your screwdriver here to give it a little tighten so it doesn't move as you go. What's really nice is, for example, if I was following along and I just wanted a guide so I didn't get off path, I can go ahead and get that set, and then all I have to do is keep my eye on the fabric running next to the guide. But here's another way that you can use a seam guide. All right, so we'll do our selective thread cutter. Very nice, is we can go ahead and use that for multiple rows. So we can just set the seam guide right down. Oh, I got it a little too tight on my fabric. There we go. Right down on top of the first line. This is great for running decorative stitches that might be 2 inches apart, or running anything that you need to kind of keep parallel to the edge of your fabric. And then just go ahead and keep it going. And it's super easy to have perfectly straight lines.